Dr. Karen here with another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest, and this is almost the last week of July. And so the news I have for you today has to do with mice and bears and squirrels and so I have a funny story to tell you. Maybe you've seen this already on my Instagram TV that I was laughing so hard the camera was shaking, but this time I have it on a stand. So, but I'll tell you first, before I tell you my bear story, that there seems to be a lot of interaction, let's just say, between some of the nature animals and myself. And I don't know if you've noticed it too. Please let me know if you do. So there was a time where we had a really successful communication with the nature Devas. I think that's how you pronounce it, Deva, right? Not diva. Devas. So, you know, I would talk to the nature Devas of the mice and the squirrels and the carpenter ants, and I'd be like, hey guys, you know, you gotta find another house besides mine. You know, I'd use some of aquaware and did some spraying and stuff like that around the house with the aquaware, charged with pest repellent, and you know, it did pretty well for a number of years. But just in the last couple of weeks, activity has really gotten a lot more intense. So every night there's like, you know, mice or squirrels or something running around the roof and the house, inside the walls. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. And then there's the bear. Yes, we have bear problems, so-called problems, in Lake Placid. It's more like probably human problems, you know, looking from the bear's point of view. Anyway, so bear problems, so they come and they destroy your trash can and get whatever's in there, right? And so this happened while James and I were away overseas, and our wonderful neighbor actually cleaned it up for us. He's so awesome. I love that family. Anyway, so they cleaned it up for us, but when we came back, you know, the bear was still visiting the trash can. And then there was, you know, a kerfuffle with the garbage man not coming, you know, do they still call them that these days? Is it like some sort of service engineer? Anyway, so they didn't come to pick up the garbage on the day. So we had to go another week with it outside. And so here's my bear story. Okay. So there's like squirrels and mice and just like, it's a racket, you know, in the house. So I decided to go to bed late one night. And my husband, James, does it well. And so we're, you know, in bed knowing that there might be a bear at some point. And sure enough, we hear boom, you know, like a bang. And then boom, boom, a bigger bang. And I'm like, bear, you know, so jump out of bed. We both jump out of bed. And he's like, shh, 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 because he wanted to scare the bear or something. So so we go in to kind of sneak to the entrance, the front entrance. And now our dog Apache was still in his kennel asleep at that point, right? So we're sneaking out, you know, and James is like, okay, what do I got? Okay, I got a baseball bat. I'll throw it at it, you know? So I guess part of me was like, is that really a bear? And the other part is like, yeah, it's a bear. So I thought, you know, I am going to be helpful, but not in the way. So I am like letting my husband like be in the front, you know, we got this, you know, the door, he opens the door and he's, you know, he's out there and he sees the bear, and I see like a kind of a brown fuzz, but I don't want to really like get in his way, right? So I can't really quite see the bear as well, but he's got a great vantage point for the bear. And he throws this baseball bat trying to scare it away. Like my nurse assistant later on said, did you try pots and pans? I'm like, that would have been smarter. Yeah. No, we didn't. So James misses it, you know, with the bat. And I thought, you know, in the wild they told us, you know, you could play dead, but you could try to be scary, right? So I thought, okay, I'm gonna try to be big and scary. So here I am behind my husband, you know, like this, right? Like up on my tiptoes, and I'm like, roar! Right? And then James like grabs a shovel and throws at the bear. Well, he misses the bear, and I'm like, roar! Right? And then he's like, give me the staff. And he's got this 8-foot Gandalf type staff, right, in the house. And he throws it at the bear, goes, shoo, 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 you know. And finally the bear goes running off into the woods. And this is a freaking big bear. Like I can hear it go, boom, 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 right? And I'm like, roar! You know, finally James turns around and looks at me and goes, what the hell are you doing? like, I don't think so, honey. Okay, you see how I was shaking? I'm not shaking the camera this time. I'm not. Okay, anyway, all right. So that was a bear story. But interestingly, as soon as all that happened, right? Of course, my dog was then scared because he was hearing right in the house. Anyway, so we calmed him down, went back to bed, and you know what? I didn't hear a peep. No mice, no squirrels, no nothing. And when interestingly, right before we went out, forgot this part, right before we went out to deal with the bear, I said to myself, okay, what do you guys need? So it was some sort of energetic balancing. Didn't need to know what it was, so I go ahead and do my Topocan healing thing, right? I command, that all the animals of the forest be energetically balanced in whatever ways for the highest and greatest good. And after the whole bear incident, everyone was quiet. I'm thinking, are they scared of the bear too? Maybe they are. But it was like really quiet, like quiet. So then, so it was quiet for a while, and then stuff starts acting up again. And every time I test, there is something else to heal. So I must need to know about it. So what I got was it wasn't the animals per se, it was the animal Devas. And I thought that's interesting. Well, I guess we all evolve, right? Including them. So there was some sort of energetic something or other that some positive morphic field, that they needed. I think I was half asleep when I was testing this. And, downloading and activating it for them. So we're doing Deva healings now. And maybe I'll find out more. Since last night there was a little mouse that ran across the, people were probably like, if you're not in Lake Placid, if you're in Lake Placid, it's like, yeah, whatever, right? It's a mouse. But if you're not in Lake Placid, you're like, ooh, Yes, we're out in the forest. We sometimes have mice. Anyway, so I'll have to figure out what else they all need today. But what we did find out was that Mother Earth's 3 big fields were shifting very quickly again. Now, a while back, that was happening, and then we as humans, our 3 big fields need to be aligned to Mother Earth's 3 big fields in order for us to function and do well. And so our abilities to quickly shift and realign with Mother Earth was challenging when she was shifting this quickly. So we did a healing on Mother Earth to help with all that, to help with that, the 3 big, the 3 big fields not shifting as quickly, or at least, more gently shifting. So some of you may have had some issues related to the 3 big fields, and normally that would feel pretty yucky. Anything from dizziness to out of balance. I know I tend to get out of balance uncoordinated sometimes. And speaking of uncoordinated, source did tell me that some of you were interested in learning a little bit more about polarity. So when we do brain balance testing, okay, one of the first things we do is check that someone's energy is running in the right quote unquote direction. Otherwise we call it reversed polarity. And when reversed polarity happens, it can happen from either severe stress or a profound healing reaction, which the latter usually is short-lived and not too bad normally. So when your polarity and when your energy is going backwards temporarily, again, you can feel pretty funky. I know for me, when I've had reverse polarity, I will drop things or spill things or bump into walls, things like that. So if you are wondering whether you reverse polarity, maybe you have anxiety, that kind of thing, you can do this simple test. So it's called the sway test. So what you do is you stand with 2 feet, equal a weight on both feet, okay? And then you close your eyes, and then you say, show me a yes. And what should happen is after a few seconds, you start swaying forward if your polarity is going correctly. And then you do it again. And remember, just kind of clear your mind. You're just kind of saying it and you're just clearing your mind. So show me a no. Okay, and then you should start swaying back. Now that is, if it's opposite, then you have a polarity issue. So that means your polarity is off. Now the other morning I woke up and I was getting into this being state. I talked about this in the other Spiritual Medicine Digest videos called STOIM, Stillness Through Observing Internal Movement. That's what I'm currently calling it. They'll probably find a snazzier name later for it. But I was having difficulty. I was having difficulty feeling, which normally I don't have. And it wasn't until I did the polarity test that I realized that I was reverse polarity. So that sense of anxiety, that sense of not being able to be in that being state, could be your hint that you have reversed polarity. Now, if you have reversed polarity, at least temporarily, it's really easy to correct. A lot of times you can just command it, with your Topican healing. I now command my polarity be corrected in the highest and best way. Thank you. And then retest, yourself to see if that's worked, see if the God team is able to do that or willing to do that for you. If not, you can do some chakra tapping. And this is from my friend Dr. Dean Clark, Olympic chiropractor. What you do is you take one hand and you tap your belly button. The other hand, you're going to tap your stomach, which is your third chakra, and then you're going to keep tapping your belly button with the first hand, and then tap your fourth chakra, or chest, with the second hand, and then your fifth. Do that gently. Sixth, third eye, and then top of the head. And again, you're tapping the belly button at the same time. Now, you can do the first and second chakras, although they're a little bit, less convenient, let's just say. So that's usually enough to correct you. So then when you do your sway test, when you say yes, you should then sway forward and no, and then back. And then when you do your STOIM technique, where you're feeling inside vibration inside yourself, vibration inside yourself, you will notice that's a little bit more amplified. You're able to get into that state where you're just feeling that vibration without the anxiety or feeling like you can't feel it, So check your polarity if you're feeling off. That's probably a really simple thing to do. And then you can do that polarity tapping to get yourself back on. Now, if you keep going out of polarity, then that may be a chronic issue. And there are some, tools you can use for that. There's definitely, I do, of course, energy healing for that. You definitely want to not use the cell phone when you're sleeping at night. You should have that off or at least on airplane mode to just prevent your brain balance from just getting pulled out of whack. Okay, so what else do I have to tell you this week? Well, I have, a mini healing radio show on Monday. Yes. So on Monday, I think that is the 30th? Yeah, the 30th. I don't have my nose in front of me. So the 30th of July at 12 noon, I'm doing a mini healing and reading show. So if you're one of the folks that have been dying to know what your sensitive soul type is, whether you're an Earth Angel, Indigo, Starseed, Hybrid, do you have a walk-in, walk-out, that's something that we could check for you on the show. All you got to do is call in and raise your hand, and hopefully, we'll pick you. You can also do that in the chat as well. So if you're on the mailing list at KarenCan.com, then you'll get the email with the exact link of the show, and then the also the dial-in information to call in. If you have any other issues, problems, whether it be entity related or whether it be pain related, autoimmunity, anything at all, you can call in. I can do a little mini reading on you and do some mini healing on you as well. So these are fun. Sometimes we do them with guests, sometimes it's just me, but they're always really fun, and it's a wonderful way to get to serve my community. This is absolutely free. And by the way, if you're not part of the Light Warrior Network and want to be, it's a bunch of Light Warrior sensitive souls together supporting each other. Just go to Facebook and just type in Light Warrior Network, and then you can ask to join my private group. Yay! Wouldn't that be fun? Excellent. Okay, guys, so that's the Spiritual Medicine Digest for this week. I've probably forgotten to tell you something, but oh well. Had to tell you my bear story, right? All right, so if you happen to be in on with the fairy world and the nature deva world, would absolutely love your assistance and help on helping the nature divas. Remember to keep your polarity running in the right way, and until next time, lots of love. Bye for now.